Hello there. It is the 31st of December 2024, and we have been together for 365 days. Would you believe it? I have recorded, I think, over 450 videos of Qigong and the Course in Miracles. And yesterday, the reading of the afterword came out yesterday on the 30th of December of 2024, which I actually recorded in Kraj. Kraj was that town on the island of Pashman in Croatia, where I had recorded the first four videos of A Course in Miracles. And then I also went back there again, because this is where my family lives. So I recorded the last lesson and the foreword and the afterword for the last lesson, but I also recorded a few other videos there. And I have been thinking, obviously the last video for the Course in Miracle, I have recorded about 6 days ago or something, as we are repeating the last lesson several times. And I just wanted to, this is actually live now. I'm trying this, and this is probably going to be the format of how we are going to do the future videos. And it has been an amazing year for me. It really has been. This whole thing was brewing in my mind of recording a Qigong class for every single video. It's been probably brewing in my mind for about 2 years or something. And then when I was getting the messages from other Course in Miracle or Qigong students, this is when I was thinking, maybe this is something which could be helpful for somebody. It definitely is helpful. It was helpful for me, because as I was recording these sessions, and I was reading out loud the lessons, then I also became more aware of the meaning of the lesson. I was like speed learning of what this lesson actually meant. And then at the same time, I had been thinking beforehand or during, while I was recording the Qigong classes, of how to express it in the best way. So you could get the most benefit out of Qigong, out of the Qigong teachings. And yeah, we've been all over the place together. We started recording in Croatia, the first four videos. Then I came back, and I also, when I watched the videos now in the beginning, I just started doing it. I had made proper plans, but I really didn't know what I am doing and how I am doing it. And I just went along, and like this is how I usually do. I just learn by doing, and that is what I did with recording these lessons. And in the end, I became better at it and more professional, more aware, and everything I have learned is actually going to help me in my life as well. So yeah, I am very, very grateful for you that you have been here with me for all this time. I would love you to give me your input under this video, and also let me know if I'm allowed to share it on social media, your opinion, to now get the next load of people to actually come and do the Course in Miracle with me. I'm probably going to publish more about the Course in Miracle on the social media. I have got quite a big English social media channel, which is called Lucid Mind Center, which I have mostly neglected for the year 2024, because I just didn't have time. I underestimated how much time it would take to record, edit, publish the lessons, make the thumbnails, get the text in, get the last video suggestion in, think what videos should be watched. As in the beginning, I was recording the Qigong class right after reading. At the very beginning, I wasn't even reading the Qigong lesson. I was just interpreting in it. Then later on, I realized it's actually better if I actually read the lesson and then do the Qigong class. And as time moved on, I actually split it apart. I recorded the reading of the lesson, and then I recorded the Qigong class. Also, because some of the Qigong classes are very some of the Qigong classes are actually very useful and could be useful for several different lessons. But it's actually a pity that they are only usable for that one lesson. You could use it for multiple lessons. And that is also why then in the end I decided to split them up, because it's actually quite nice to repeat the same lesson each time. So the future way I'm going to record is basically we're going to start reading different chapters. One of my favorite parts of A Course in Miracles really is the manual for teachers. I have read it over and over and over again, especially the development of trust, to understand where in the development of trust am I actually, in those 7 or 8 stages, I think it is. And each time I thought I was in a particular level of development, I realized I haven't reached that level yet, and I realized that I was not as far as I thought. But it is all good, you know. You need to learn. You need to become aware, and it's also kind of the decisions. I mean, to really understand where you are in the lesson is the willingness of how much you are willing to give up your opinions and your stance and your beliefs. I think this is very much the level which explaining of how well we are. Anyway, so those live streams in the future, I'm going to announce them. So it's going to be at certain times. So you're going to be able also to communicate with me, leave a message or something, and then I can answer your messages directly. But today, sometimes what I'm doing, this is the sparkly edition of A Course in Miracles. Sometimes when I'm stuck in my life and I don't know what to do, then sometimes I just kind of take the book and I place my question in my mind, and then I kind of just open it up somewhere and start reading. And then usually it is kind of fitting. So we're going to do that as well now. I'm going to ask, connect to the higher self, connect to the higher consciousness, to the Christ consciousness within. And also every time I do that, my left eye starts vibrating. It's almost like it's like a signature, like a sign that I'm connecting. So I connect in, and then we're going to ask together what part of a phrase or something I should read, and then just take that as a message for us for the year to come. Whatever time you are arriving to read this with me, it's going to be the one which is most suited. So sit down. Even if you've done this already with me, you can just connect. Remember that central channel. You inhale, exhale down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. You can also visualize that central channel. Exhale. And last one. And exhale. I hope you're going to have a nice evening today as you are going to meet as you're going out to celebrate, say goodbye to the year 2004 or welcoming the year 2025. And whenever you see this, that you had a nice time. And also letting me know of how good, how was this past 365 days for you with A Course in Miracles. Maybe it was longer, but whatever it was, let me know. So here it is. I'm on page 391. It's part of the forgiveness of illusion and the specialness and guilt. The sparkly edition, it hasn't got the numbering, and the pages are not the same as in the Foundation for Inner Peace. But we're just going to start here where it says, the special relationship is a strange and unnatural ego device for joining hell and heaven and making them indistinguishable. That's what it says here. And the attempt to find the imagined best of both worlds has merely led to fantasies of both and to the inability to perceive either one as it is. The special relationship is the triumph of this confusion. It is a kind of union from which union is excluded. And the basis for the attempt at union rests on exclusion. What better example could there be of the ego's maxim? Seek, but do not find. Most curious of all is the concept of the self, which the ego fosters in the special relationship. This self seeks the relationship to make itself complete. Yet when it finds the special relationship in which it thinks it can accomplish this, it gives itself away and tries to trade itself for the self of another. This is not union, for there is no increase and no extension. Each partner tries to sacrifice the self he does not want for one he thinks he would prefer. And he feels guilty for the sin of taking and of giving nothing of value in return. For how much value can he place upon a self that he would give away to get a better one? The better self the ego seeks is always one that is more special. And whoever seems to possess a special self is loved for what can be taken from him. Where both partners see this special self in each other, the ego sees a union made in heaven. For neither one will recognize that he has asked for hell, and so he will not interfere with the ego's illusion of heaven, which is offered him to interfere with heaven. Yet if all illusions are of fear, and they can be of nothing else, the illusion of heaven is nothing more than an attractive form of fear in which the guilt is buried deep and rises in the form of love. And it's the same with those special days. Like we are celebrating today, the 31st of December, we are celebrating a special day. And it's altogether that specialness, If a relationship is not holy, that means if it actually doesn't include everybody, and if that day is not, if this day we are celebrating becomes some special, becomes an idol in itself, or the relationship in itself becomes an idol, then it's missing the point, because it's always about expansion. That's why I love Qigong so much. It's because when you actually use the body to do this expansion, then you also become aware of how the mind is supposed to expand. It's not supposed to be attached in this frame of mind, the frame we have set. Like we are setting the frame for the relationship, we are setting the frame for the day. We are setting so many different frames. And we even have an expression of that. We are thinking, let's think outside of the box. We have got all those different boxes where things can fit in. And we kind of want to break that box. We want to understand. We don't want to see those. We don't want to be imprisoned in those confinements. We want to kind of break open and see things differently. And when we are doing this introspection, when we are sinking in, that's why this meditation is so effective. When you're kind of sinking in and returning back and actually allow yourself to not be influenced by the outside and not be influenced by the senses, then you kind of reconnect to this being which you are. And then from there, observe. What is this relationship I have? Is it actually holy? And if you don't feel it's holy, then maybe you can wish for it. Then you can ask your higher consciousness or Christ or your higher self or the Holy Self or the Holy Spirit, whichever you want, and just say, let me see this in a different way. Help me make this relationship a holy relationship? And sometimes, even when you ask this question, the relationship might actually end, because as it became holy, then it couldn't serve its purpose no more, the purpose of the ego. So it really is always about returning back and asking for help from Christ. So when I do a section like this, I would read it and then I would go to the end, if I don't have so much time, and have a look what is the conclusion of this chapter. The core of the separation delusion lies simply in the fantasy of destruction of love's meaning. And unless love's meaning is restored to you, you cannot know yourself who share its meaning. Separation is only the decision not to know yourself. Its whole thought system is a carefully contrived learning experience designed to lead away from truth and into fantasy. Yet for every learning that would hurt you, God offers you correction and complete escape from all its consequences. And that is the key here. There is always a solution. There is always an escape from the madness. The decision whether or not to listen to this course and follow it is but the choice between truth and delusion. Amazing, huh? This particular sentence that is there as we are finishing our year off. For here is truth, separated from illusion and not confused with it at all. How simple does this choice become when it is perceived as only what it is, for only fantasies made confusion in choosing possible, and they are totally unreal. This year is thus the time to make the easiest decision that ever confronted you, and also the only one. You will cross the bridge into reality simply because you will recognize that God is on the other side and nothing at all is here. It is impossible not to make the natural decision as this is realized. And the next chapter is called The Bridge to the Real World. Can you believe it? If I have planned it, I could have not done it better. So the bridge to the real world is going to be our next chapter. And I'm going to read this on next Sunday. I don't exactly know yet what time I will do it, but I've been thinking for a while that I would like to make a live event on the Sundays. It's probably going to be around 6 o'clock Canarian time, so probably 7 o'clock mainland. So 6 o'clock it would be London time, and then 7 o'clock 7 o'clock Europe, and then you can calculate from there. But I will announce it. I will put a post or something for you to know, and then we will read The Bridge to the Real World. Thank you so much for being here. And if you fancy starting the course with me again, I am going to leave the links below, and also here you've got the different links for you to start on A Course in Miracles if you so fancy. And also if you fancy to do Qigong with me, you will find the links below. Love, light and chi to you.